James, good to see you. Welcome to Pop Alternative, man.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me on Popternative. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Tail the two interviews a little bit, right? We got a lot to talk about. We got some music to talk about. We got a movie to talk about. We're gonna be busy.
Yes, we're gonna keep it busy, keep it moving. I'm excited.
Did you always know you were gonna do both, or did it kind of just happen, music and acting, so to speak?
I really appreciate you asking me that question because no, everything that really has happened that's led me to this place in my life has been kind of a natural progression of how things have kind of shaken out. I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up with really artistic parents who were always exposing me to music and film and I started playing around with music in middle school when I was 13 years old. And my best friend, he and I just started teaching ourselves how to make beats and how to record ourselves and how to play instruments and stuff. And that started as a hobby, and it's kind of grown into something where I'm actually able to sell music now and play songs in film and TV. And then I started studying acting when I was uh, 20 years old, well, 19, almost 20, and I really started studying that and following that as a legit career path. But the music was always just a creative outlet and a way for me to balance things in my life because with that, you don't need anybody to tell you like you can do this now. Like you can do it on your own time. With acting, it's tough because you gotta go out and audition and try to land the job, and it's a lot harder to just do. Acting is part of a very collaborative process of filmmaking. So, yeah,
It's interesting too, where music kind of comes into play in the life as an actor, right? Because it's like when you're waiting to find out if you got a role, you might make some music or listen to some music. When you're on set waiting for you to go in, when you're just at base camp or your trailer, maybe you're writing or listening to music. There's a lot of kind of synergies
yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's exactly it. And in that way, if you stay in the flow state of being creative and using that time, they help one another. And now I'm finally getting to a point where, I'm able to do some projects that are that combine the two of them.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm releasing my first solo song ever. I've been in multiple bands over the years
Yep.
and still release music with those bands, but I'm releasing my first ever solo release, which is me on guitar singing kind
July
of
12th, right?
July 12th. Yes,
And
thank
there's
you.
a
Yes.
music video for that one as well, right?
There's a music video directed by Greg Gorman, and it's a mix of a performance video, and it's got old footage of my dad from when he was a teenager and some of his
Yeah.
old Super 8 movies from the 70s that nobody's ever seen before that I've intercut
Wow.
in the video. Because the whole song it's called Count on Me, but it's about reflecting on your past and family, and it's very introspective and nostalgic, and so it incorporates a lot of those elements, and that was why it was important for me to incorporate that footage of my father in there and my family.
No, absolutely. And a good segue to, Twisters, which is going to be coming out July 19th. I mean, the original is one of my favorite movies of all time. Your dad is
Yeah.
just so incredible in that movie. I'm sure this is just for many reasons just so special for you and your family just to kind of be involved with this new film. What were those kind of conversations like, the audition process, like all that involving you being involved with this film, so to speak?
Yeah, that's a good question. For a long time, I just want to take it back. My dad had years ago, he had kind of been interested in directing a sequel, and he had his own take on it and his own ideas. And sadly, since this film can't have his direct involvement in any kind of way, this sequel it doesn't connect. The characters don't connect to the original. It's more of I think it's going to help reintroduce to the new generation the original, as well as this is kind of like a sequel, but it's like on steroids. It's like
Yes.
everything is bigger. You
Twisters, there's two of them, apparently.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I wish that it was him in the sequel, and I struggle with a little bit, just to be totally honest with you, about how I wanted to, homage him and what level of involvement I even, wanted to have, because I mean, I've always been supportive of the sequel and of them, going forward with it. It was just more so it's emotional and it's complicated, and I wanted to homage my dad and his fans and fans of his iconic performance from the original. But I wanted to do it in a cameo sense, in a way that,
Yes.
it's really just to infuse a little bit of his spirit into this one, because I really wish it could have been him. And I've been working hard to kind of establish myself as my own actor,
Yep.
separate from him, for a long time. But by the same token, he was my best friend, and I'm so proud to be his son, and I learned so much from him. And so I'll never shy away from talking about him, and how proud I am, of him and to be his son. And so I think it's very special. I can't go into too much crazy detail about the appearance, but it's a cameo, and it's kind of for the fans and for my dad.
Absolutely. And you have a lot of other really cool projects coming up. And I'm wondering if you can answer this question in regards to these kind of projects specifically. So I feel like, whether it's a TV show or a movie, James, there's so much that happens before you go to camera on a project, right? There's kind of getting ready for the role, table reads, all that stuff, costumes, all that stuff, right? So in a lot of ways, from an acting storyteller perspective, you could look at it as two journeys, right? Before filming something and after filming something. Or you could look at it as one big journey with multiple steps. So I'm just curious for you, for James Paxton, like, do you see kind of it as one big storytelling acting journey, or do you see it as two journeys, before filming or after filming something?
I gotta tell you, you asked the best questions. I'm not kidding. Like, that is really, you have a great understanding of all these things and how it works. Because yeah, for me, so much of the role and is done in the foundation, is done in the pre-production stage. For me, I get 80% of the role figured out, and where the character's coming from. I do all of this. I had a great acting coach named Vincent Chase who always taught me. He says, search for the things that aren't in the script, that are not on the page, but inform who the character is. And audiences may never know about those little things, but and they'll help you play that role with authenticity. And the more you foundation you build, like, what was this character's relationship like with his mother, for example? Like, what are his greatest fears, his greatest aspirations? What makes him tick? All these things that may not be shown in the film, but they help you feel like you have a solid base to live within. So by the time cameras are rolling, you're very present, because
Yep.
that's all underneath, and you don't have to worry about it so much. And it's more like you can kind of let it go, because it's there, and then you can live in the moment and find the magic on the day. And so I do most of my work in the prep, I would
Yeah,
say.
absolutely. No, it's really interesting. And I want to go back to the studio a little bit. I want to go back to your music, because kind of I feel like it's, such a cool moment when, you have a song that you're really proud of, from a lyric perspective, from a instrumental perspective. And I'm just curious, maybe it depends on the song or the state of mind that you were in, but when do you start to realize, like, wow, I have something here, I have a good song, or this is something that could be cool? Is it when you're writing it? Is it when you play back it in the recording studio? Like, when is that for you with your music specifically?
Yeah, 'cause that's a good question as well, because I always start with the music first before the lyrics come,
Yeah.
because I think it's easier to write to the music, that rather than write the lyrics first and then try to format them, because the delivery and the rhythm and everything, it's bound to change. You're bound to have to change it anyway. So I like to start with some chords that I like, and I think it's just like, for me, because I've taken my time on a lot of this music that I have written and recorded as just a solo artist. I've taken years with it. I've been kind of, because I've been a little bit of a perfectionist with it, but it's like I will play them over and over again, and I always find something else that I want to either add or change.
Yeah.
But I think it's about, I know it's going to be something good or I think it's going to be something good if I'm like addicted to keep playing it. If I keep finding myself, because there's ideas that I start and I don't really return to it. I'm like, you know what, maybe there's a reason. Maybe it wasn't catchy, or it wasn't striking the right chords emotionally or thematically for me. Because I mean, I think as with a lot of other people and artists, music or whatever your medium is, it's therapy, and you put whatever you're going through into that.
Man, I think one of the coolest things, because I played in bands my whole life. Like PD Beats I'm a drummer, right? So that was like my
Yeah.
stage name and everything. And
Yeah,
like,
that's so cool.
Yeah, and I think the coolest thing is like talking to like some of my favorite bands like on my show, and just like kind of reflecting kind of what you said. Like, you're like, I'm talking to someone about their music, and like those songs they're talking about, like, they helped me through a lot of tough times in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy to think about, right?
Yeah. It is. I think that the pursuit of something that is universal in its truth and can be relatable to many different people is what makes art so wonderful. But also the same song can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and can help. I always like, I like listening to sad music. I find it like, it's like, it doesn't make me more sad. It just makes me feel better about, if I'm down or whatever. It feels, I don't know, maybe just the music matching my mood or whatever. But I also listen to sad music when I'm totally happy. And
Yeah.
I like music that just is evocative in emotional textures and everything. So. Yeah.
Okay, so it's interesting when you're making music. Like, do you have what would you? Okay, so quick, part A question before I go to the long part B question. How would you categorize the genre of your music? Would you say?
Yeah, so it's very different from the bands that I've been in.
Yeah, the current stuff, the one that the music video is coming out for.
Yes, the current one. Yeah, it's like mellow indie folk singer-songwriter stuff that's very, I would say it's calming in nature.
Okay.
It's like I love like Elliott Smith and Nick Drake and Iron and Wine and Jose Gonzalez and artists like that.
I'm so excited to ask you this then. So when you're making that type of music, is that the music you're listening to, or do you listen to other genres? Because I think the coolest thing is I'm like a huge metal fan, James, and like talking to some like metal bands, they don't listen to metal music when they make music or for inspiration. They listen to pop and country and like other things. Like, I think that's the funniest and coolest thing to think about, right?
Yeah, definitely. I actually I kind of this is a little bit of a page out of one of my favorite artists was Mac Miller, because of where he came from in the hip hop background, which is what I love and have always been passionate about. Like, that's my metal. It's like hip hop rap, because I like
hip hop too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I like it all too. I can find something that I enjoy about just any genre about music. But I like he released when I was young and I was still pretty early on to making music. He released an album called Watching Movies with the Sound Off, and the whole philosophy of that album was, when he was making his album, he just had movies on in the background with the sound off, and he was kind of imagining. And I think of music, because I'm so into film. I think of music in a score sense a lot for scenes that I can see. So I kind of think more about that when I'm making my music than listening to a certain artist. But sometimes, I mean, for example, like with one of my old bands and my oldest collaborator, my buddy Jared Connor, we're in a band called Flamingo Dogs together. He and I sometimes thanks. We'll just take like a song by an artist we really like, and then we go, what if we tried our version of this song, and it's inevitably doesn't end up sounding anything like that, but it's a good
make a metal version of it for PD Beats. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I hope that kind of answers that a bit.
Absolutely. No, there's so many amazing things coming out. I'm so happy for you, man. You have so much good stuff going on. You're so talented. James, thank you so much for coming on the show. So great chatting with you.
It's so great chatting with you as well. Thanks, PD. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. So, okay, let's do some plugs here. So, new single is out July 12th.
Yep, the new single is called "Count on Me." I'm releasing it with my signature moniker, Love Pax, Love, Pax, and that's out everywhere July 12th with the music video as well.
Twisters is out July 19th in theaters.
July 19th, and then that's Twisters. Twisters is out July 19th, and then I have a Western that we are still waiting. Yes, Last Train to Fortune. I've got a lead with Malcolm McDowell in Last Train to Fortune,
Amazing.
and we're still figuring out the premiere for that, but it should be making the festival circuit in the fall.
He has also been on the show for Son of a Critch, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. He's a dear friend, and he loves Son of a Critch. I mean, it was just his birthday yesterday. I was talking.
That's like I love that show. It's like one of the best shows. It's so good.
It's so great.
And your Instagram account, what is it so people keep up to date with everything?
Yes, my Instagram account is @thisisJamesPaxton. And then Facebook and Twitter, if people still use, or X, it's @YoJamesPaxton.
It's very true about Instagram because this is James Paxton. Like, it is James Paxton, right?
Exactly. And I made that that username a long time ago because James Paxton was just taken. I just wanted my name, but I was like, okay, I'm just sticking with it now. I'm rolling.
That's like your greeting on your phone. This is James Paxton. And it's my Instagram account.
James Paxton. yeah, exactly.
Well, this has been Pop.
And my other one is Yo James Paxton. Like James Paxton.
They're all
if you need to hit me up.
They're all voicemail greetings.
They are. I find that I like these signatures. Like with my solo music, I'm releasing it under Love, Pax because that's literally how I'll sign off on messages or emails sometimes. And a lot of people, my nickname growing up was JPax or Pax.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very much just kind of literally my signature.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. Well, they can follow you on all those amazing platforms. Well, this has been Pop Turner, youtube.com/PopTurner for previous episodes. Until next time, it's James Paxton and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.